on the Mariners this season in Oakland. 0-2, right field, and that's going to win it for the A's. Here he goes, and this one's hit to left. Bradley's back, near the wall. No, he missed it. The A's win it. Don't expect the young A's to show any sympathy today as they look to extend their 5-game home winning streak versus Seattle. It's Game 1, A's-Mariners, next. Labor Day baseball at the Coliseum. It is a gorgeous afternoon, and why not throw a tailgate together, enjoy the tailgate, and then head on in and watch what should be a good ball game this afternoon. The A's still hanging around in that AL West. They got good news just moments ago from Toronto. We'll tell you about that. It's the Mariners and the Athletics. Game 1 of this 3-game series coming up on Comcast Sportsnet, California. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Hope you're having a great Labor Day. Brett Anderson's going to take them on today against the Seattle Mariners. And Ray, this is his 4th start against the Mariners this year. He's been terrific in every one, but he's only won once. It's that Felix Hernandez guy.
Yeah, good news for him. He's pitching at home where he has success against the Mariners. Definitely not up at Safeco Field. But the start you're referencing on August the 10th, he was outstanding. Unfortunately, the A's could not score against Felix Hernandez with the bases loaded, nobody out in the first inning, and then he took over, but so did Brett Anderson. He gave up a couple of runs, but what this young man did was outstanding. We got to see the good breaking ball working for him to the lefties as well as the righties, and spotting his fastball, using more changeups. So the fact that he's pitching here, maybe that's good news for him and the Oakland Athletics.
It's been a tough year for the Seattle Mariners. They went into the season thinking, hey, we're going to pitch well, we're going to play good defense, and hopefully we'll score just enough runs. But their offense has really, really struggled.
Well, we have seen what has happened with the Athletics pitchers just because they're not a lot of run support. Look at those numbers. Last in the batting average, runs, home runs. That means when the Mariners pitchers takes the mound, they have to think about pitching a shutout because the offense is not there. And you look at the Athletics, they can say the same thing. So what kind of series is this going to be? 3 games, 2 clubs, not scoring a lot, pitching and defense. They could be some very good games.
Now that good news we talked about, the Toronto Blue Jays just defeated the Texas Rangers 7-2. So the 4th straight loss for Texas. The A's now 7.5 back. If they can win today, they'll get it down to 7. So let's see what the A's can do this afternoon against the Seattle Mariners. We'll have lineups, and we'll have first pitch from the Coliseum when we come back. Labor Day baseball in Oakland.
AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. AT&T. Rethink possible. And by Corona. Relax and refresh with Corona and Lime.
Well, lineups have just been exchanged. The A's just getting set to take the field for Game 1 of this 3-game series, the A's and the Seattle Mariners. So the A's, a couple games under 500, still in the race in the AL West. They need to string together a whole bunch of wins, and maybe that'll start right here on Labor Day against the Mariners. Game time weather brought to you by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The admission is free. The boardwalk is open daily. Very nice, 85 degrees, so holiday baseball, and it's a warm day around the Bay Area. So Brett Anderson will take them out, and he will face, of course, Ichiro in that leadoff spot. Let's check the rest of the Mariners lineup. Ichiro, and then Figgins, Gutierrez, Branyan, he's the DH, Lopez, Kochman, Moore, Saunders, and Josh Wilson. Is the A's starting defense, which is brought to you by Black Diamond Brewing Company. Davis, Crisp, and Carson in the outfield. Tollison, Pennington, Ellis Barton on the infield. Suzuki is the catcher. Brett Anderson is the pitcher.
Well, Brett Anderson coming off a start. Of course, his last one, not a good one. That's against the Yankees. So let's talk some good news. That is, Brett Anderson has been good against the Seattle Mariners. A little more run support. That 3-3 record would be a little bit better. 3 wins here at the Coliseum. Brett making just his 14th start. So it'll be great for Brett to go in the offseason, come to spring training, stay healthy all season. And if that is the case, he's going to put up some great numbers, as the case of Gio Gonzalez this year, who has not missed a start. Trevor Cahill, all-star, 15-game winner. We expect the same out of today's starting pitcher, and of course Dallas Braden pitching tomorrow night. Stockton 209 will be on the mound.
Ichiro Suzuki steps in, and we are set to get underway here from the Coliseum. And the first pitch of the ball game is just a bit outside to Ichiro.
First pitch, 1-away.
Could not ask for a more perfect day.
No,
baseball,
nice
for anything than this.
Pennington cannot pick it up cleanly, and Ichiro is going to have a base hit.
That is not an error.
That is an error. They just called it.
You give him an error now, but you change it. That was going to be a very tough play for him to throw him out.
Well, the call was made immediately, which means there was not even a look at the replay.
No. He had to backhand. He had to set himself. And that was going to be tough to throw him out, because Ichiro, as we know, is out of the box so quickly. Now, granted, you want it to be a clean hit for the first hit. But that is subject to change. It should be, because that was going to be a tough play. And he's going to get a chance in this series to make a similar play, and we'll see how he does.
So Ichiro is aboard on the Pennington air, and that'll bring up Sean Figgins.
Hope Ichiro doesn't get 199 hits this year.
Then the Mariners will fight for it.
Probably already are.
Figgins, 245 with a homer and 32 runs batted in. Sean Figgins really struggled the first half of the season. He has been better in the second half offensively. 245 batting average, not where the Mariners thought it would be. He shoots this one to right field down the line, and Carson caught it. Wow. Sensational play by Matt Carson.
Listen, if that young man will run into center field wall full speed, this is nothing. But what a tremendous play by Matt Carson. Just gave up his body, knowing the wall was coming on quickly. Slicing line drive by Figgins. It's going to be foul, but what a play. And to catch it and to hang on after hitting the wall, bam. Now we get a better shot at it, because this is a tremendous play, because no fear of that wall. Amazingly how he stopped himself quite a bit, considering he was on the warning track, but I'm sure his elbows and forearms are a little scratched up. What a play.
Fully stretched out. So Matt Carson putting on a show in the first inning. So Ichiro still at first, and Franklin Gutierrez is the hitter.
With that play, I'm sure Cliff Clavin bring him a new uniform right now. Clean that one up and be ready to go. Hey, how about our Ultra-Mo is brought to you by the Evergood Sausage Company. What a great play to show in Ultra-Mo. Catch, hitting, flat, sliding on the warning track, and stopping himself with a padded ball. Well, this is a tremendous play. You can't see enough of it. Sure we'll see a lot of it this week, but great shots, great catch. You know, when you're trying, and Matt Carson been up and down, you're trying to stand the club, you're going to do anything and everything.
Man, yeah.
And boy, did he do it. Plays like that all the time.
Mariners come in with a 54-83 record. They just split a 4-game series with the Cleveland Indians up in Seattle. But the struggles for the Mariners pretty well known. They have the 3rd worst record in baseball. Pittsburgh has the worst, Baltimore 2nd, Seattle 3rd, and Cleveland 4th as far as worst records in the big leagues. There's a strike on 3-0. They are 21-45 on the road this year. So lots of disappointment in Seattle. Trendy pick to win the division in spring training, although I think we found out, right? I mean, in talking to people at the beginning of the season and even in spring training, not everybody was feeling as much love for the Mariners as maybe some other people is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
They still had some holes.
Yeah, because at the beginning of the rotation, it was the 1 and 2.
Sure.
With Lee and Hernandez and Lee.
But there was people that maybe thought they were a little overrated going in. That's going to be a strike him out, throw him out, double play. Nicely done. Gutierrez strikes out. Kurt Suzuki throws out Ichiro Suzuki. Nothing for the Mariners. We head to the bottom of the first. Athletics lineup: Coco Crisp, Derek Barton, Kurt Suzuki, Jack Cust will DH. Ellis, Davis, Carson, Tollison, and Pennington. Defensively for the Seattle Mariners: Saunders, Gutierrez, and Suzuki. Outfield: Lopez, Wilson, Figgins, Kochman. Infield: Adam Moore is the catcher. Jason Vargas is the pitcher. So Vargas' first pitch to Coco Crisp is a little bit high.
You got to watch Chris Guccione, because when he comes up out of the crotch, he raises his right arm slightly, which normally indicates a strike.
Yeah, that one's driven to left center. That's hit deep. It is. Go! Coco Crisp with a drive to the left center field, and that is home run number 7. Second pitch that Vargas throws.
Well, we find out how many leadoff home runs, but the A's will take this one on a fastball. Well tied, a little bit away from him, and ball on a beautiful 77-degree afternoon, carrying nicely in the jagged edge.
Third career leadoff. Martin drives into right. Ichiro's back, and that one's off the wall, and it kicks off Ichiro's foot, and Barton's going to dig all the way to third, and he will stop there. A lot of action here in the first 2 hitters.
Come on, Derek, let us at least talk about Coco.
Yeah.
It's his first leadoff home run. We didn't even get a chance to say that. And he swings at the first pitch. And almost hit a back-to-back. Ichiro went up, and then as the ball came back, you're right, back, hit his foot. And Derek Barton saw it, carry him away from him.
So a triple for Barton. That is his 5th triple of the year, and here's Kurt Suzuki. First pitch is low.
We're told first for Coco for the A's. First since 2003. August 13, 2003, Cleveland against Tampa Bay. So nice going, Coco.
Change up for a strike to Kurt Suzuki. So a homer and a triple to start the bottom of the first for the Athletics. Suzuki hitting .248 with 12 homers and 56 runs batted in. That one's bounced to short. That'll get a run home. Josh Wilson has it, and Kurt Suzuki gets the RBI ground up, and it's 2-0 Athletics.
Jason Vargas pitching, and he beat the A's. That was in Seattle. Gio Gonzalez on the mound for the Athletics. The last 3 starts, he's 0-3 with a 6.5 earned run average. He is 9-8 on the season with a sub-4 ERA. But definitely not in his last 3 starts. But in that game up in Seattle on the 14th of April, Jake Fox, remember, an early home run.
That's right.
Against Vargas. And that's pretty much all the support Gio Gonzalez got. Vargas got a little upset, retired about 6 or 7 in a row, gave up another hit, retired 6 or 7 in a row. And the rest is history as the A's lost the game.
Well, Vargas, all in all, has had a pretty good year, and it looks like he's probably got a chance to be in the rotation next year. 165 innings coming into today, so he's done a decent job. Of course, it's all rotation will be all built around Felix Hernandez, which is a good thing. Swing and miss by Cust.
Well, you always like to see, in case Matt Carson's great play, there's so many times you see a game where a tremendous defensive play before you come in and swing the bat, that can kind of get your offense going quickly. And of course, for Coco Crisp, after that great play by Matt Carson right field, Coco, second pitch he saw, gave the A's a 1-0 lead. Great support for the pitcher defensively, and then A's offense put a couple of runs on the board. That's Ben Sheets, folks. Sitting down there. And can't say give me the ball anymore.
No.
He would like to get it. Check out our keys to the game, brought to you by Toyota. He's still 7.5 back. Plenty of time, no doubt. Anderson needs a solid September. He is probably stronger than anybody, considering the time on the disabled list. And for the M's offense, no good, but don't let them break out. Just make it be a series starting today where pitching is great, and if they have poor numbers offensively, make sure they leave here with the same. No sympathy.
Mark Ellis hitting .263 with 3 homers and 35 runs batted in. Mark had a good series against the Angels. He was 5 for 10 with a couple of walks. miscues that one. Figgins, the backhand, flips it. Nobody's there, and everybody's safe. If he takes his time, he gets the sure out at second base. But he tried to get a little fancy, and they didn't get anybody.
Yeah, the backhand flip fooled Josh Wilson, the shortstop. Good idea by Figgins. But with his momentum, watch as he goes towards shortstop and then flips it back. That's tough to throw it back towards a guy who is behind you. Maybe just stop and flip it, like you said, and would have had time, but no way to lead Josh Wilson to the bag.
And Mark Ellis is awarded a single.
Absolutely.
How about that? He'll take it. Still just one out, and here's Rajai Davis. We have seen the Seattle Mariners. This is game number 13 that these two teams have played. So it's a small sample size, but to me, Ray, Figgins does not look as comfortable at second base as he did at third base. Would you agree with that?
Well,
he's a pretty good third baseman.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just going to say he played so many different positions for Mike Scioscia. Played the outfield, played very well in center, and solid at third base. But the plan was to move Lopez to third, Figgins to second. Get better range in both spots, but I agree. And, of course, when you have that weight on your shoulder in a sense of being a big free agent signee, expectations, and, of course, the numbers he put up with the Angels as you're looking at those great numbers, they were tremendous. Got a big contract with the Mariners.
Rajai Davis pops it up on the infield. Kotchman comes down the line, and Kotchman has it. So that's out number 2. Told you about that final. 7-2, the Blue Jays over the Texas Rangers. It was an early start. Ricky Romero got his 12th win. He beat Tommy Hunter. 3 home runs by Toronto. 1 by Wells, 1 by Hill, and 1 by Escobar. Wells, number 25. Hill, number 23.
Jeez, unbelievable.
So the Blue Jays beat Texas 7-2. The Rangers have lost 4 in a row. This one popped up as well. Foul territory. Vargas, the pitcher, comes out of nowhere and makes a very nice running catch. Couple of runs for the A's. They did it on 3 hits and a walk. It all started with a home run by Coco Chris. So we've played one from the Coliseum. 2-0 A's. So 2-0 Athletics. Second inning, it'll be Branyan, Lopez, and Kotchman.
Remember, we were in New York and showed this guy hitting one of the number 23. One of those went upper deck.
Upper deck.
In New Yankee Stadium, a ball that was absolutely crushed.
He can do that.
Oof, he is strong.
Big year last year for Branyan with the Mariners. 31 home runs in 116 games. But then signed as a free agent with the Indians. And then was traded back to the Seattle Mariners.
Yeah, mainly because the Mariners weren't going to offer him a contract. You know, you have a good year offensively, but your age catches up a little bit.
He had 31 homers and 76 runs batted in for the Mariners.
Do 30 and 100 and strike out 150. Who cares? I mean, that's some offensive production.
And that hits Branyan on the elbow.
Well, Ichiro Suzuki reached on an error, questionable although it might have been, but on the 3-2, watch Suzuki at the top of your screen. As he takes off, he's looking back, and he continues to look back. And it's one thing to make sure, if you're running on 3-2 on the left-handed batter, that the pitch goes to plate. But surprisingly, he looked back all the while as if to really say, I want to be thrown out. He didn't get a good jump, but he has enough speed that once the pitch goes to the plate, he can take off. If he hears contact, then he can try to find it, find where the ball was at, just like Rajai yesterday. Slid into second, didn't pick up the ball, and was thrown out at third.
The point being, he was not running hard after he took off.
At all. And he has enough speed that once the pitch went to the plate, if he busted hard to second, he's got a chance to steal it.
Accelerate. Yeah. Put it this way, Ichiro Suzuki, no matter how bad the jump he gets, and if it's hit run, he should never get thrown out at second without there really being even a play.
Right. Stand up, yeah. And the way he ran to first, we assume he's okay health-wise, because he does not seem to be held back at all by anything with the legs.
Up the middle, and that's going to get into center field for a base hit by Jose Lopez. Lopez has really hurt the A's this year. So 2 on and nobody out here in the second inning.
Well, the ball a little bit away from him and tried to pull it, and Brett Anderson that close to snagging it, but too hard and passed Pennington at short. So 3-0 to Branyan. Got a strike, hit him with a pitch. And 1-1. Pitch left up again to the right-handed Lopez.
First pitch to Kochman. The Mariners have, let's see, Ichiro, Branyan, Kochman, Saunders. So they have 4 left-handed hitters in there against Brett Anderson, which teams are doing now. It's that what lefties are hitting and what righties are hitting differential against Brett Anderson. It's very interesting. Lefties hitting 338, righties hitting 248, which is a bit of a head scratcher. Brett Anderson looks like he'd be hard to hit whichever way you batted.
Well, believe it or not, lefties have, for some reason, are able to see his breaking pitches better than righties. Because it's kind of coming at them. They can see the spin. And a lot of cases determine whether they ought to be strikes or not. I think a lot of times if he could start the hard curve and slider at the hitter, get him to buckle.
Could be 2. Ellis has it. And that's a double play. And a much needed double play. So Kochman hits into the double play. 4-6-3. 2 outs, and Branyan now at third.
But for a young pitcher, something to work on, and this helps out tremendously, not only getting 2 outs, but he does it against the lefty, who has had some good numbers against the A's, even going back to the first series. There's your Ultra Mo. Full hand flip perfectly into the glove of Pennington. He cleared his way, with Lopez coming in, and the strong arm completes the double play. Textbook.
So the catcher, Adam Moore, steps in. Moore hitting 194 with 3 homers and 10 runs batted in. Wouldn't be surprised if Seattle Mariners look for a catcher in the offseason. It's been a little bit of an empty spot for them. After,
good luck.
Yeah, Jojima, of course, went back to Japan.
Well, they like Moore as a catcher.
Yeah.
And, of course, hitting under 200. And you like to be able to go back to the old school of letting the catcher do his job defensively and take whatever he gets offensively as a bonus. Nothing wrong with that pitch.
2-2 to Moore. And that one is a strike. Curveball, and Anderson gets his second strikeout, and the Mariners do not score. Bottom of the second coming up. It'll be Tollefson, Pennington, and Crisp. 2-0 A's.
Plan. You will receive an authentic A's jersey of the player of your choice. There are a limited number of jerseys available for this promotion. That's a good deal. Boy, good chance to be able to continue to watch. We emphasize pitching, but this team is just going to get better and better. It's nice to be able to throw a starter out there with a chance to win every game.
Tollefson, Pennington, and Crisp for the A's here in the second inning. Tollefson playing third base. And Kuzminoff with the back spasms yesterday happened in the fifth inning. Kuz said feels a little bit better, but it's still bothering him. And back spasms tend to hang around for a couple days, so it'll be interesting to see when Kuzminoff gets back in there. Of course, an off day on Thursdays. Him sitting out this series is not out of the question.
No, absolutely. I saw him on a trainer's table last night on his stomach, and I would not want to have been him. Walking around a little bit better today, but still, no doubt there's pain.
Tollefson strikes out on the changeup, so that's out number one. Here's our Subway Eat Fresh Ask Glenn and Ray question for today on Labor Day. Liz from Sacramento asks, do umpires ever get fines or suspensions for bad calls? That's a very good question from Liz in Sacramento.
I can simply say yes.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. And I heard something, and of course it's not publicized, and we'll never know, because it won't ever be publicized. But when an umpire gets a week off or whatever, vacation, they get a lot of vacation during the season. It's not necessarily vacation.
Not necessarily.
They could be suspended for a week or so, but rightfully so. It's not going to be announced, because you never want a player to know an umpire has been suspended, because he'll get ejected for saying you deserved it. So, but yes, it was good to hear that there is some accountability in what they do when they're on the field.
And we don't know how often it happens. We don't know
And
who
we don't
it
want to
happens to. And,
Yeah.
and they keep that very much under wraps, and you're right. They should.
Absolutely.
But, yes, they do. They get fined, and they do get suspended. So sometimes you hear fans talk about, well, they're not held accountable for anything. They don't have to answer to anybody. Well, that's not true. They do. They definitely have to answer to Major League Baseball. Pennington hits one high to center field. Franklin Gutierrez trots in. He's got it.
And we've talked about it before. Terry Chrisman, who been in the area for a long, long time. I know we see him at the Coliseum here, where he is up in the press box and he observes the umpires, not balls and strikes, just how they handle plays, maybe a play on the bases. Do they confront players? How they react when a player or a manager confronts them? So all these reports are sent in. They have their own guidelines as far as balls and strikes. They are graded, if you will, on how they call balls and strikes, and they're given a leeway of a quarter of an inch, half inch, whatever off the plate. But all these reports are sent in, and I guess accountable for a lot of different things they do.
So Jason Vargas, after a long first inning, settles down, has a 3-up, 3-down second inning. So we're on to the third from the Coliseum, 2-0 Athletics. Bottom of the first. Last leadoff home run was Adam Kennedy last year in Boston. Last leadoff home run here at home. You got to go back to 2005 when Marco Scutaro did it. So some leadoff home run notes. Third time for Coco Crisp in his career. And obviously the first time as an Athletic. Top of the third. A's with a 2-0 lead. He did it a few times.
More than anybody, right?
Yeah.
Derek Jeter had 15 or 16 away. He's let off a lot, but he's also hit second.
And did Ricky end up just a handful of home runs shy of 300? Is that right?
I think so.
I think he did. Yeah.
You know, at one time, Bobby Bonds.
He must have hit a bunch.
Oh, he had he's a very powerful leadoff hitter.
Brent Anderson facing another left-handed hitter, Michael Saunders. Saunders hitting .218 with 8 homers and 30 RBIs. Remember Milton Bradley, part of the Seattle Mariners this year, but he's only been on the disabled list for a good chunk of the season. Saunders toward first where Bartman makes a nice big hop, steps in the bag. It's almost like all the things that the Mariners, every part of their master plan has not worked.
Right.
They thought Bradley would help them offensively. He really has not. Jack Wilson was going to be an everyday shortstop. He's been on the disabled list a lot. They thought Kochman would be a decent 270, 275 guy. He has not hit very well. Figgins has not hit very well. Gutierrez and Lopez have had off seasons offensively. Remember, they talked about Eric Bedard as well. They signed Eric Bedard thinking, well, we may get him back in June. He could really help us. He has not pitched at all. Sliced foul by Josh Wilson, who is the shortstop with Jack Wilson on the disabled list.
You know, if everything had worked out like Jack Sarincic had planned, the general manager, coming off last year, a great year following the 2008 when they lost 101, and they would have had the outstanding pitching and defense, then the offense would not have been as critical.
Exactly.
But yet the Cliff Lee injured out of spring training, and just everything fell apart. And now you start depending on the offense, which really has not done that much. It's hard to come back. Excellent breaking ball again. You got Moore on the called third strike, and he gets Wilson also. But I think it's a great philosophy, pitching and defense. And if you have both those working, the A's, we've seen a lot this year, and they're where they are because of it.
Collison playing in on the grass, takes care of Ichiro. Side retired. So 2-0 A's as we head to the bottom of the third inning. Gary Radnich and Tony Bruno give you a new way to wrap up your sports weekend. Tune into the premiere of Sunday Night Wrap this Sunday at 9 p.m. on Comcast Sportsnet California. Gary and Tony together on TV for the first time. Radnich and Bruno, sports knowledge. They are full of it. That's what it says. Sports knowledge, they're full of it.
Oh, okay. Glad you said sports knowledge.
Yeah. Barton, Suzuki, and Cust for the A's in the bottom of the third against Jason Vargas. Barton tripled and scored in the first inning. A's coming in with a 67-69 record, so this is game number 137. 25 left after today. They're 40-28 at home, and they're 7-5 against the Mariners this year. 5-1 here in Oakland. He's struggled up in Seattle. 2-2 now to Barton. Correction, make it 3-2 to Barton. Lifts that one toward left field where Michael Saunders in and over, and he's got it.
Red Sox will be in Oakland Saturday, September the 11th. That's this upcoming Saturday when the A's host a firefighter appreciation night. Game time 6:05. And a special pregame ceremony will honor local firefighters. And during the game, the A's will promote fire safety awareness and prevention. To buy tickets and help support this charitable event, visit OaklandAthletics.com.
So Kurt Suzuki steps in. First pitch to Kurt is outside. Kurt had an RBI ground out in the first inning. It was his 57th run batted in of the year. Hit hard, but just foul. Jason Vargas, after that rough first inning, he has settled down and retired 6 in a row, including the final 2 outs in the first inning. Changeup that drops low. He's got a pretty good changeup.
Yeah, basically 3 pitches: fastball, slider, and change. And for a lefty, if the change is working, it's fading away from the right-hander.
And the 3-1 pitch is low, so Kurt Suzuki has a 1-out walk. Second walk issued by Vargas. He has 1 strikeout. So
designated hitter, number 32, Jack Cust.
So Cust will hit. He walked in the first. Lots of day games in baseball today. Most of the schedule in both the American and the National League are day games. I think you should play during the day on Labor Day, don't you?
That's right. Exactly. In most cases, I would be shocked if school is not in session tomorrow. Yeah. The day after Labor Day, long weekend. But so it's a good time. Day baseball, a little tailgating. I just remember there were double headers on Labor Day.
Not anymore.
Gives these young kids a chance to come out and watch baseball. Bring their glove, maybe catch a souvenir, foul ball. Go to school tomorrow, do a report on my day at the Coliseum yesterday.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. What I ate at the Coliseum.
Just outside.
What's going on down there?
There's a good fan right below us, and he is letting everybody know how he feels about each pitch. He's hooting and hollering. No, that is not the man we're talking about.
Is this a former umpire down there?
Well, it's not a huge crowd today, and you can hear just about everything.
Well, Bertie, just find the camera and put it on everybody below us, and you'll find it.
We'll find out who it is.
Probably doesn't eat cotton candy either. If he's yelling like that, he's not a cotton candy eater.
Cust, a big bouncer to Kochman. Fires to second for 1. Back to first. Vargas covering, and he did not get his foot down on the bag. Mariners get the out at second base. Cust is safe at first.
Well, ideally, a pitcher, try to get the bag as quickly as possible and be a first baseman. Very good play by Josh Wilson at second base with the throw returning to first base. He led Vargas, but Vargas actually didn't quite lead him all the way to the bag. But if the pitcher can get to the bag so the throw from the shortstop can be hard, accurate, and the pitcher doesn't have to worry, did Jack Cust even touch the bag? Like he jumped over it too.
Nobody wanted to touch the bag. Ellis hits it hard and right through the wickets. Josh Wilson has it go right in between his legs.
Another look at first base with Vargas covering. He got over almost, then reached back, and Jack Cust missed it completely.
Yeah, he
did not touch the bag. And then Wilson with a hard hit ball by Mark Ellis. Ball came up and almost hit him in the midsection. Instead, missed his glove and his body. I think Jack completely stepped over it. Don't you think?
Oh, yeah. I don't think he touched it at all. He was trying to get out of the way. So the A's 2 on, 2 out. Rajai Davis hits. There's the changeup. It drops low. The White Sox won today 5-4 in 10 innings, and they did that in Detroit. And the White Sox are hot, folks. They have won 7 in a row. 7 straight. A.J. Brzezinski with an RBI single in the 10th.
Well, they look up and they see the Twins are leading Kansas City.
5-4 in the 8th, so we'll keep an eye on that one. So
that's at Target Field. So they've got their home schedule.
So with that win right now, the White Sox 3 back in the AL Central. So they're starting to put some pressure on the Twins. With the White Sox getting hot, and well, they're getting hot at the right time. So 3 back. And again, the Twins are leading 5-4 over the Royals in the 8th inning. 2-1 to Rajai Davis with Cust and Ellis, the runners, and that one sliced foul. Baltimore beat the Yankees 4-3. Alex Rodriguez back in the lineup. He hit a home run.
So they're 0-2 since he's come.
That's right. He hit a home run, but they lost the game. Brian Mattis, who's pitched very well in the second half, got the win for the Orioles. A.J. Burnett took the loss. Burnett now 10-13.
Well, Buck Showalter has his Orioles playing. And
sure are.
Of course, they would probably right now be saying, why can't this be 2011 in our start to the season? They hope to do that next year. But a great way to finish. And Orioles going to go out and talk to Vargas. But I thought just recently a very good article talking about, we discussed it briefly, about Cincinnati playing well this year, coming off a great September last year, and the Padres before their tailspin right now the same way. So there are times that you can build off of the last month of the season, carry it into the offseason, and then start the next spring and season and continue to play like they finished. And, of course, an important acquisition could help.
Rajai Davis did not like the strike 3 call by Chris Guccione. Doesn't matter. A strand a pair, and we played 3. It's 2-0 Athletic. July, Labor Day, for all of the above. For exclusive video, exclusive blogs, and much more, log on to csncalifornia.com. Today is indeed Labor Day. Tough to beat the weather today. The problem for us with the summer holidays is we usually have to work.
But that's good. I mean, it is baseball, and you're supposed to be working on holidays, summertime. Double headers. Right?
I agree with you 100%.
That's right. Baseball.
Who wants to be
good
home
day
on a
for
holiday?
two.
The heck you want to be home on a holiday for?
Then you got Thanksgiving and Christmas and
Wow,
New Year's.
those are good ones.
Yeah. We'll be home next 4th of July. Be playing at home. We'll work in, but that's fine.
It's all right.
America's birthday. Get a chance to go to Danville, see the big parade. Come out the yard and work. And have a barbecue. All right. Getting all excited about next July the 4th. We're on Labor Day of 2010. Huh?
Coming over to your house. That sounds like a good time. 3-1 to Figgins. And that one's a strike. So it's 3-2. Figgins, Gutierrez, and Branyan here in the top of the 4th inning. He's got both their runs in the first. Pennington quickly to first. Figgins is retired.
Well, and I think that kind of typifies the Mariners in a sense there. The 3-1, pretty decent pitch, and a good fastball is Brett Anderson just challenged Figgins, kind of jammed himself as he went after the pitch. Pennington, of course, a very good play when he charges the ball, a very strong arm and able to handle it nicely.
First pitch to Franklin Gutierrez is a strike on the outside corner. First pitch changeup, and a good one from Brett Anderson. And now it's 0-2. Anderson's last win was August 4th. So he has gone 5 starts without, but he's pitched great. Look at the ERA in the 5 starts.
And look at the run support.
3.21.
The run support, 0 on 3 of the 5.
All goes together, unfortunately. Good pitch, and it missed somewhere. That's a strike, folks.
Well, especially after Rajai Davis was called out to end the 3rd inning.
That ball crosses the plate.
It's
right there.
The whole plate.
The Twins have just finished off the Royals. That is now a 5-4 final. So Minnesota wins, and so do the White Sox. So the lead remains 3.5 for Minnesota in the AL Central. Jim Thome, another home run. 585 home runs. He has been terrific for the Twins.
Stretch guy. Loves it.
Man.
Excuse me, Captain. Look at home plate. Look where Gutierrez. See a home plate. He's just tapping it. Look at the distance between home plate and where Suzuki, the catcher, set up. Yeah. And when we talk about a catcher holding his mitt, catching the ball, the distance that when the ball has to cross the plate, let's say to get inside corner, it's got to cross the whole plate to get there, especially with that distance. And that's why the catcher has to be careful to set up far enough behind the hitter so he doesn't get catcher's interference.
Allison throws to first. Yeah, you don't realize that distance because most of the time you're looking at the center field camera.
Right.
But that's got to be 3-4 feet at least. Huh?
Exactly. And if the hitter sets up in the back part of the batter's box, of course, the catcher has to keep moving back and make sure that his distance is comparable. So, and you have to know the hitter, because sometimes the hitter will take his bat back and come down when he swings, and you put your catcher's mitt out too quickly. He hits it. Catcher's interference, E2.
So Russ Branyan, who was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat. Branyan ended up being stranded at third. Seven in a row retired by Brett Anderson as he had a 3 up, 3 down 3rd inning. 2 night games in the American League will be Cleveland at the Angels. And big series, the Rays at the Red Sox. That one's drilled to right field. Carson going back, and he makes the running catch. Another nice play by Matt Carson, and Brett Anderson has a 3-up, 3-down, top of the 4th inning. Bottom of the 4th coming up, it'll be Carson, Tollison, and Pennington.
Right fielder, number 25, Matt Carson.
Here's our trivia question brought to you by AT&T. The last season that the A's had 3 players with 20 or more stolen bases was 1992. Who were those 3 players? First pitch to Matt Carson is a little bit low. Carson, Tollison, and Pennington, the bottom 3 for the A's. 2 runs on 3 hits with an error for the A's. No runs, 1 hit with an error for the Mariners. That one's driven left center field and deep. That baby is gone. Got out of here in a hurry. Carson has home run number 2.
Come on, after the great defensive plays he's made today, couldn't be happier for him to go deep. Fastball right over the top, and he crushed it.
Third baseman, number 30, Steve Tollison.
Barry Zito, his last victim, June the 12th.
Tollison skies one to left. Saunders fighting the sun. Both guys are fighting the sun, and it's going to fall. And Tollison's going to end up at second. Wilson and Saunders, you could tell they were both scuffling, and it ends up a double for Tollison.
Does he have sunglasses on? Yep.
Shortstop, number 2.
But the way, this is sometimes when you need the flip down sunglasses, which are the better. He's trying to look to the side. Obviously, the sunglasses not doing any good. Help, help, help. I think that's what he was saying, because he couldn't see it. And he's asking for it. But I think the shortstop, Wilson, said, sorry, I don't see it either.
Bunt attempt by Pennington. Vargas fields it. His throw is just in time, as he had a throw over top of Jose Lopez. First career double for Steve Tollison. He's now at third after the sacrifice by Pennington.
Number 4.
Great job by Cliff Pennington, too, advancing Tollison to third base. I got 4 pitches in this inning. You got a home run, a Sun double, and a sacrifice. Infield in with a runner at third. A's up 3-0.
Changeup drops low to Coco Crisp, who homered in the first, popped out in the second. check swing. That's foul back. Those are the guys this year that have 20 or more steals. Davis, Crisp, and Pennington. The A's as a team with 124. That's third most in the American League. Shot, base hit, past a diving Wilson. Tolleson trots in to score, and it's 4-0 A's.
Got a curveball and Coco Crisp with a hanging breaking pitch from the left-hander right into a swing, and with the infield in, Wilson could not handle it. So good, fundamentally sound baseball for the Athletics in this half inning. Every time you get a runner to third base, giving yourself up. In the case of Pennington, Tolleson with his son double, and Crisp drives him in. The infield playing it.
Still just one out. Off the catcher's mask to the backstop.
You know what this feels like, Cut? All right, just put your face there now. I'm going to take my fist.
Don't do that. There it is. Oh,
yeah. And young catchers, that's why you're supposed to wear a helmet. And really, that style of mask, I don't want to say anything negatively against the hockey style mask, but you see the thickness of the padding on this mask, which is the traditional. You get a lot of padding on your forehead, chin, around your jaw. That's some good padding. Got the extension below to take care of any foul ball off the neck. You got to be smart as heck to get back there too. I mean, you have to be ultra intelligent.
Barton and the swing and a miss.
You're laughing about that intelligent part about being a catcher, aren't you?
I think I would say you got to be tough and intelligent. Because there's nothing like the feeling of just having somebody punch you right in the face.
And to be able to bounce right back. It's like nothing happened.
A lot of managers are catchers, and you got to be smart to be a manager. Scramble is on for that foul ball. So 1-2 the count to Barton. Coco Crisp with 15 consecutive stolen bases. Does not have a real big lead. There's action out in the Mariners bullpen.
Mike Sweeney was traded to Philadelphia and came back as a pitcher.
Changed his name. Brian Sweeney. Barton rolls that one foul. Todd Steverson makes the nice play.
Now the Phillies are starting to play a lot better baseball. They've gotten their all-star infield healthy again, but I think the one acquisition, Mike Sweeney, just getting his energy in the clubhouse and on the bench has to be a tremendous help to the Phillies. And players don't need motivation, but boy, he can motivate a lot.
Nice play by Kochman. And they're going to get Crisp on the force out at second. So Barton is aboard on the fielder's choice. But very nice play by Casey Kochman. He's an excellent defensive first baseman. And on that play, it helps to be left-handed.
Reached out and robbed Derek Barton of a hit. You see Coco Crisp stop. He thought there was going to be a rundown. So he wanted to make sure he slowed down, so at least, well, he's going to have to stop to avoid being hit. But once the throw went to second, he's going to be out easily. But he wanted to make sure Barton got safely to first.
So here's Suzuki with 2 outs. And when I say it helps to be left-handed, meaning it helps to be a left-handed thrower with the glove on the right hand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Suzuki with an RBI. He got that on a ground out in the first and then walked in the third. 2 runs in for the A's here in the bottom of the 4th. That one bounced toward third. Lopez will go to second for the out there. Side retired. 2 runs for the A's. The first one coming on Matt Carson's second home run of the year. So we're on to the 5th. It's the A's 4 and the Mariners nothing. Here's our trivia answer brought to you by AT&T. The last season, the A's had 3 players with 20 or more stolen bases from 1992. Who are they? Ricky Henderson, Willie Wilson, Lance Blankenship. So Willie Wilson with 28, Blankenship with 21, and Ricky Henderson with 48. That was 1992. Lopez, Kochman, and Moore here in the 5th inning. The A's with a 4-0 lead. '92 was a division-winning season for the Athletics. That Robbie Alomar guy kind of ruined the postseason for the Athletics.
Well, they just tried to hit a sac fly and hit a home run, but
that's a lot.
Still say, and I know Bill King is still screaming.
Coco Christ, he's got it on the dive.
Boy, it seemed like that ball hung up forever, and it seemed like Coco was running forever. A little bit off the end of the bat by Lopez, and Coco Crisp got a great jump and just ran, and boy, hit the ground hard, very hard. So how about this? You got a center fielder and a right fielder. Each hit home runs, and it made outstanding defensive plays. Matt Carson a couple, and Coco Crisp defensively makes a very good play. Ultramo, here we go. Look at it. Watch the glove, the concentration, reaches down and then goes into kind of a side slide and rolls over.
This one hit right down the first base line. Barton has it, and that's out number 2. 10 in a row retired by Brett Anderson, so he is locked in here through the 5th inning.
Number 10, Adam Moore.
So Adam Moore will hit. Moore struck out looking in the second inning, one of 3 strikeouts for Anderson.
After Brett Anderson left the fastball up to Lopez in the second inning, he's got a double play to end that one, but his breaking ball's been down, fastball spotting it very nicely. So he's made a nice adjustment to get a hittable fastball down to where it's not such a good pitch for the hitters.
That one to Barton. He's got it. And a 3-up, 3-down inning. Nicely done. 7 pitches for Brett Anderson in the 5th inning. Bottom of the 5th coming up. 4-0 A's.
Ticket offer on these nights to show your Chevy car keys on the night of the game at the box office and receive a field level game ticket for only $20. That's a savings of $6. Next free parking Tuesday is tomorrow night. That's against the Seattle Mariners. For details, visit oaklandathletics.com. Well, I'd love to see 40,000. I don't know if the parking lot holds 40,000 cars. All I'm getting for free parking. I'd like to see the parking lot completely full tomorrow night.
All right.
That means everybody gets in here for free parking.
The great David Renetti was just in our booth. We could have asked him, how many cars does the parking lot hold?
Well, you know,
he's got to know.
Encourage people to take BART. But then on Tuesdays, drive. Because it's free.
Saving you some cash.
Right. Take that extra money, come in and buy a nice souvenir, soft drink, something, beverage of choice. Maybe Chef Rodney will show up and tell you all the good food they have. Diamond Level, West Side Club.
Two-one pitch to Cust. There's a shot to center. Gutierrez racing back, and that's off his glove and rolls to the wall. So Cust will be at second with a leadoff double. It's tough to get one over Gutierrez's head. He's a terrific center fielder, but that one off the tip of his glove.
Well, he made a good play going back, turned his back to the infield, but when he turned around, the ball hooked on him just enough. Watch him turn around to his right, and the ball just out of his reach. So he knew exactly how far to go and then turn around to catch the ball, but it just kept hooking, and something Jack Cust can do. Strange things to baseball. It's a lot of topspin. I think the ball just kept moving away from him.
First pitch to Mark Ellis is a strike. So that is hit number 7 for the A's. The Mariners have just one. Ryan Sweeney is up again. That's the second inning in a row he's been loosening up. Vargas now 76 pitches in the game. Mark Ellis a single, and he reached on an error, so he's been on base twice. Shoots that one foul. Mentioned that Rays Red Sox series that starts tonight. That's a 3-game series. It'll be Neiman and Lester, the pitching matchup. John Lester looking for his 16th win of the year. Red Sox smarting from a difficult weekend where they were swept by the White Sox. Boston 7.5 back in the wild card. So they're not out of it, but they're in kind of the same mode that the A's are in, where they desperately need a 7 or 8 game winning streak to make it interesting.
Well, they need help, and unfortunately for them, they have 2 teams that are above them, and both playing very well, leading the division. The other wild card.
The Rays, on the other hand, they just lost 2 of 3 in Baltimore. The Rays still play the Yankees 7 times this year, so those will be fun games to keep an eye on, as those 2 teams battling for the top in the East. 1-2 to Ellis. Drops low. You said the Yankees lost today, 4-3 to the Orioles. So the Rays are 2 back after that Yankee loss. Good battle here. That one's driven to left center field. Saunders is on the run, and he gets there to make the catch. Cuss tags, and he's going to get to third. It's a good base running by Jack Cuss. Mark Ellis has a productive out.
Well, he tried with several to go to right field to advance Jack Cuss, maybe with a ground ball. It's proof that you don't have to hit the ball to the right side to advance a runner. Jack Cuss very smartly saw the ball was going to be caught. Good speed, able to tag, and the ball deep enough in left center to get him to third.
So the infield comes back in, but the reason they're coming in is because we're going to have pitching changes. Darren Brown, the manager, strolls to the mound. So when it's time for a change, folks, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
Is presented by authority of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
And Jason Vargas just 4 1/3 innings. He leaves trailing 4-0, 81 pitches. The runner at third, Jack Cust, is his responsibility. So Brian Sweeney is the new pitcher, and he faces Rajai Davis. And the first pitch is a breaking ball outside to Rajai Davis. So Brian Sweeney making his 19th appearance. Sweeney pitched in Japan for 3 years, and then in April signed a contract with the Mariners. Went to AAA. Had pretty good numbers in Tacoma, and now he's in the big leagues. Brian Sweeney.
And it's great to hear stories like that, because we know that Justin James, the A's reliever, last year started the season in independent baseball, Kansas City T-Bones, and all of a sudden he's in the big leagues. Guys go to Japan. Guys even sit out a year, still come back. Jim Edmonds, great story this year.
Well, quite frankly, there's so much money to be made. How could you not want to keep trying to get to the big leagues?
And if you make so much money and you don't care, then you just say, well, that's it. But
sure.
I mean, you have to have the love of the game, which these guys do.
Gutierrez shading his eyes. Cust tagging. Gutierrez has it. He'll fire it home. Jack Cust is going to just make it. Sacrifice fly for Rajai Davis, and it's 5-0 A's. So a double. Cust gets over on a fly ball and then comes in to score on a fly ball.
Well, that's 3 in this game. 3 times the A's have had a runner at third in less than 2 outs, and they've been successful all 3 times. Well, when you see an outfielder put his glove up to shade his eyes with the sun, of course, Jack was going to be running anyway. Good help with Matt Carson, the on-deck hitter, telling him to stand up, not have to worry about sliding. As Moore was trying to decoy Jack, thinking that might have a better play.
Sweeney's pitch to Carson is outside. It's been a good game for Matt Carson. The home run, that was in the 4th inning, but he has made a couple of very nice plays in right field. This one hit toward right center. Gutierrez got a good jump, and he's got it. So another run for the A's, and a double and a sacrifice fly, and it is now 5-0. Bloomberg Sports, the leader in data analysis, has developed an analytical product being used by baseball clubs. There's also a product for fans. Improve your fantasy play or track your favorite players and teams. Go to BloombergSports.com for details. River Cats hat. They're heading to the postseason again. That's just like
automatic.
Yeah, exactly. This year a little different though. They were like 13 games out of first.
They just want to give somebody else a chance to think they had a chance.
And then they storm back, and they're heading to the postseason. In fact, I think the AAA season ends today.
Labor Day. A's.
Strike call to Michael Saunders.
Congratulations again to Tony DeFrancesco, the manager of the AAA River Cats in Sacramento, who just continues to do so well, managing those teams and developing players to get them here.
So 1-2 the count to Saunders. He'll be followed by Josh Wilson and Ichiro Suzuki. Two and two. Just 66 pitches for Brett Anderson, and we're in the sixth. That one reached for, poked to shallow right. Carson racing in, and he's going to get there. How about this one, Ray? The A's optioned Vin Mazzaro today back to AAA Sacramento.
Now batting.
Vin's really been struggling as of late. Well, remember too, though, that stretch where the A's had the 18 consecutive very good games, but just a lot of offensive support, and in defense of what his numbers and pure numbers, they look bad, but some pitchers have just not received a lot of run support. He had a tough first inning again in New York, and that's been his downfall this year.
Now the A's have an off day on Thursday after this series against the Mariners.
Everybody's in rotation in the normal turn, so it would be Saturday that they need the starter for his spot. Although they could come back today with Saturday with Brett Anderson on the fifth day.
Now 3-1 to Josh Wilson. In a row retired by Brett Anderson, and he's trying to make it 13. Driven to right field, but right there is Carson, and that is out number 2. So Brett Anderson on cruise control right now. He's got some help from his defense today.
Number 51, Ichiro.
Well, there's no doubt when you see an outfielder or infielder make a spectacular play, the first guy to greet him when he gets back to the bench is the pitcher. Okay? Carson made a couple of very good plays. He made in the fourth inning a line drive hit by Bryan in right field. Brett Anderson was there saying thank you. Otherwise, it's a double. Still pitching.
Ichiro line drive and a base hit to left field. So his first hit today. 179 on the season, second most in the major leagues. It's
Sean Higgins.
Well, it's the same approach for his entire major league career in U.S. Leg kick. Look at the body heading towards first base. Bat control tremendous. And your ever good ultra mode. Oh, it's a pretty good swing. Technique. Not many can use it, though.
No. He's looking for his 10th 200 hit season, and with 179, we're pretty sure he'll get it.
And assuming he stays healthy, he will fly by the 10. He'll keep going as long as he plays.
So Ichiro, in his career, Ray, in Japan and here in the United States, 3,487 hits. How about that? He's got 2 more years on his contract. He signed through 2012, but seems like he could play for a long, long time.
He does not look any differently now than he did 9 years ago. Works out every day, literally every day. It's kind of like the tours at Fenway Park, 364 of the 365 days.
Takes 1 day off. 0-2 pitch, good breaking ball. Figgin strikes out. That is strikeout number 4 for Brett Anderson. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Tolleson, Pennington, and Christ will hit. It's 5-0 Athletics. It was a run of historic proportions for the Athletics. When you've got a giant appetite, it's got to be nations.
Well, we did not work yesterday, but to be able to show his walk-off home run against Eddie Guardado for win number 18, and then with Kansas City in town on the Labor Day, infield, actually 5 infielders, they still hit a ball up the middle for the game winner. And then an off day the next day, play resumed, and we'll probably show that one too.
He had a good stretch. That's what
kind of an MVP stretch.
Bottom of the 6th, A's with a 5-0 lead. Brian Sweeney came in. Final couple outs in the 5th inning. That was driven. Right center, but Ichiro got a very good jump and he makes the catch. So Tolleson is retired. He's 1 for 3.
Shortstop, number 2.
Well, a good swing, ball slicing back. Ichiro does not need much help, as he always gets a great jump. He'll win a Gold Glove again. So that will be 10.
10 in 10 years.
Yeah.
All-Star, 10 in 10 years.
Hit leader.
Yeah.
Well, Hamilton's got him.
Hamilton has more hits than him, but just I think Hamilton has 183. Ichiro now with 179.
And Hamilton not playing.
He's not going to play.
Well, the Blue Jays won today, as we mentioned. They will not face Cliff Lee tomorrow. He has been scratched from the start scheduled tomorrow.
Well, the Rangers in one of those funks right now. Said they lost their 4th in a row today. They've lost 7 out of their last 9. So they are opening the door a little bit with the A's. Listen, we're going to keep saying it. They need to win a bunch of games in a row. Two and two to Cliff Pennington. A flyout and a sacrifice today for Pennington. The Padres, who have lost 10 in a row, will play tonight. They will host the Dodgers. They'll see if they can right their ship. They still have the one-game lead, but some one-game leads are different than others, I guess. Padres will try to break that losing streak tonight. Pennington shoots one to left field. And Saunders is there for out number 2. Well, we got in-depth sports news for the Bay Area fan. It's Sportsnet Central tonight at 6 and 10:30. Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. Lots of baseball. Raiders getting set for the Titans. And 49ers coach Mike Singletary. Jamie Sire, Damon Andrews will host. Lots of sunshine today at the ballpark. Tough to find a better day for a baseball game today.
That's why it's always nice. Keep saying about postseason baseball for Oakland, because the Bay Area, the weather is so great, just like this.
That's a good call. You're right.
The football lines off the field. By the time the A's leave Sunday, this field will look great. And they'll be back a week after they play another game.
We can't get away from it. Higgins has it, and that's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Brian Sweeney. 7th inning coming up, 5-0 Athletics.
For the Coors Light freeze can. How about this? Beautiful Labor Day. Got that great cap on. How about the great catch by Matt Carson? Coco Crisp with a leadoff home run. Matt Carson with a home run. Great play, great defense, great hitting already. And Alan H. would like to see his name on Major League Baseball. Coors Light freeze can brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Brett Anderson into his 7th inning of work. Gutierrez, Brandon, and Lopez, the 3 scheduled hitters. I was just informed that the Mariners have scored 3 runs or less in 10 consecutive games.
Well, what's wrong with that? That should have a lot of wins. Very good pitching.
Barton, great effort. Not quite reaching.
Did you run into Rick Riz?
No, it was a member of the traveling party for the Seattle Mariners. That's where I got that information from. 81 pitches for Brett Anderson.
All the beverages. Oh, what is it? Lemonade? Oh, ices.
It's that kind of day.
Yes, it is. They should be very busy and keep running back and filling up for more. Don't even have to hawk it out. You know, you don't have to say anything. Just walk around. Give me one. Give me one.
I'm sure people can see it. That one's driven left center, and the Mariners are going to be on the board. Long home run by Franklin Gutierrez, his 11th of the year. So it's now a 5-1 game.
But it was an achievement, and especially get 2 strikes. Ultimo, and look at the location, thigh high. Brett Anderson throughout the season had not given up a home run until he faced Toronto. Gave up a home run to Longoria.
Russell Brandon hit by a pitch, and then hit a line drive that Matt Carson made a nice play. Now 3-0. Kind of a shift on for Brandon. Ellis 4 steps out onto the grass, and you see Pennington behind second base. Tollison playing the shortstop position. That one rolled over and foul as Barton picks it up. Gutierrez with a leadoff home run off Anderson here in the 7th inning to make it 5-1. This one grabbed by Barton, and he'll take it himself for out number 1.
Well, this look today is something we were hoping to see at Yankee Stadium with the Yankees, of course, the pinstripes. I'd like to have seen the A's with the road grays one time. Well, today, Brett Anderson, the pitcher of choice, going to the all-white home uniform, and the Mariners in the road grays. Nice look on this Labor Day.
So Lopez has one of the 3 hits for the Mariners. He had a single in the 2nd inning. Second inning is really the only time that Brett Anderson has been in trouble. Mariners got the first 2 guys on, but then Kochman hit into the double play, struck out Adam Moore, and then retired 13 in a row. We are now, though, going to get a little action out in the A's bullpen. Ziegler starts to throw. Lopez, shallow right center field. Coco Crisp is going to get there. He's got it. So 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Ziegler is now joined by Breslow.
Ross Wolf taking the catcher's duties while Breslow gets loose. He's playing catch. Landon Powell hustling down.
First pitch, Kochman on the ground, and Tollison takes care of that. So the leadoff home run by Franklin Gutierrez, the only damage done. 7th inning stretch, 5-1 A's. far. Coco Crisp with a home run. And the A's have a 5-1 lead going to the bottom of the 7th. Barton will lead it off. Heads up down the first base line as Jerry Crawford steps out of the way. So Barton gets his piece of lumber back.
The bat toss. That's pretty good. Jerry Crawford, though, he's veteran. He's cool. He's had a few hurling bats come at him before, and he just kind of stepped away, didn't walk into it.
Curveball lined into center field. A hit. Gutierrez gets over into left center to cut it off. So Derek Barton with a leadoff single, and he's 2 for 4. Hit number 8 for the Athletics, and that'll bring up Kurt Suzuki. Suzuki with an RBI groundout, a walk, and another groundout. Facing Brian Sweeney, who came in with 1 out in the 5th inning. And he's getting some extended work out of the Mariners bullpen.
Dibs. We've already had our dibs today.
Yes, we have. Thank you very much. Suzuki high and foul down the right field line.
Yeah, they talk about that's a big one. We could last that 9 innings.
Could do a lot of damage there.
Start the season weighing 200, go home weighing 300.
That's where I'm headed.
You know, Labor Day is kind of that day that you start looking at the races down the stretch, and teams in first place on Labor Day, how many percentage of teams that go into postseason. But it's also when panic sets in some cases, and I'm sure in San Diego it's happening a little bit. We're hosting the Dodgers tonight. You have to figure the Padres are thinking, just give us one win to end the streak,
right.
and then we can just start playing in our normal game. And you go a whole season without losing more than 3 consecutive games, and now you're trying to stop a 10-game losing streak, especially your starters have done so well to prevent the extended losing streaks. That's where your good starting pitching comes in. They can pitch a shutout.
Barton goes. Sweeney grabs it and safe at second. Suzuki will be out at first. Sweeney took a chance to get Barton at second, and it was a very close play.
Well, evidently Sweeney did not know that Barton was on the move, because he immediately came up and threw to second base. Feet first slide. Watch the foot get in. Maybe. Just barely. Of course, when you go feet first, you kind of fall back a little bit on your backside and elevate your feet. Sometimes it looks like the guy's on the bag, but his feet are above the bag, or foot. It looked like Phil Cuzzi, the second base umpire, had a good look at it.
So here's Cust. Breaking ball is low. Cust has been on base 3 times. A walk, a fielder's choice, and then he doubled and scored in the 5th. Hit hard and into right field, the base hit. They're going to wave Barton home. Ichiro's throw to the plate is cut off. And they'll have Cust in a rundown. And the run scores, and Cust will get tagged out. But the A's pick up their 6th run.
Ichiro Suzuki, of course, a strong arm in right field, but very offline this time. Cuz pulling the outside off-speed pitch. Ichiro, of course, Kochman, the first baseman, is a cutoff man. And watch him go towards, that ball was headed towards third base. Third base dugout, that is. But Jack continued to run. An outfielder throwing the ball if it's down low enough to where it can be cut off. It's usually when the runner stops running.
Kochman fighting that sun well into foul territory. Makes the catch. Ellis is retired, but the A's get the run, and they get it on Cuss. RBI single. 8th inning coming up. 6-1 Athletics.
The A's host the Mariners this week, Wednesday night. It's a 7:05 start. And guess what? It's the next double play Wednesday. It's brought to you by Bart. Liza Resort and outfield tickets for $2 and hot dogs for just $1. Order tickets online now. OaklandAthletics.com or call 877-493-BALL. Steve Finelli, the ticket office, got everybody ready to take your calls, take your order. Double play Wednesday and the remaining home games. And it is nice to be playing for something.
Yeah.
Exciting baseball. It's not just ho-hum September baseball. Look at the scoreboard. See your team play well and win.
Adam Moore is retired by Cliff Pennington. So Brett Anderson out there in the 8th. The only run he's given up was Gutierrez' leadoff home run in the 7th inning.
Number 55, Michael Saunders.
So he has pitched terrific today, and he has really shut down the Mariners in his 4 starts against Seattle this year. Benny Anderson made 5 starts against Seattle last year, 4 this year, and he's got a pretty good chance of making another one because the A's will finish the year in Seattle with a 4-game series. So he's got an 80% chance of making one more start against them.
He does it up there. Got a chance to pick up his first one in Seattle. That would be a good time to do it. He's hoped to still be playing for something whenever they're playing Seattle in the Final Four of the regular season.
Outside.
It was against the Mariners, his second start, that he had his first career wild pitch. It was up in Seattle. So to go a whole season without a wild pitch, remarkable. Says a lot about his catchers.
I was going to say, maybe Kurt Suzuki's the one we should be talking about.
That's with 30 starts last year without a wild pitch being recorded.
3-2 now to Saunders. It was 0-2.
You know, it's nice for a pitcher to know that his catcher is going to block balls. We talked about Michael Wirtz, but this hard slider that Brett Anderson throws, Kurt Suzuki, Landon Powell, these guys are doing a great job.
Shallow left field. Rajai Davis racing in, and he's going to have to play it on a hop. That's a 1-out single for Michael Saunders, just the 4th hit for Seattle. And Josh Wilson, the 9th place hitter, will step in.
Now batting, number 16, Josh Wilson.
Wilson is 0 for 2, a strikeout and a fly ball to right field. Reaches for that one and pokes it foul.
Breslow probably getting loose, maybe, for Ichiro. Of course, it's still a lefty, but pitch count. 105th coming up.
Breaking ball, and it's just a bit inside. A good pitch, 1-1. ...105 pitches for Anderson. That one is a strike, 1-2. Popped him up. It's going to be Mark Ellis shading his eyes with his glove. Ellis makes the catch, and that is out number 2. So Brett Anderson gets the 2nd out. And as he looks up, he sees the manager, Bob Guerin, coming out to the mound. So 107 pitches. Brett Anderson will leave, and Craig Breslow's coming in. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. Seven and 2/3. He leaves with a 6-1 lead, and he hands the ball over to Craig Breslow. Breslow is on to face Ichiro Suzuki. Fastball up and in to Ichiro. Suzuki is 1 for 3. He's reached on an error and had a base hit. It was a single in the 6th inning. Breslow, as we figured, a workhorse, his 63rd appearance. Saunders is the runner at first. He had the 1-out single off Anderson. Swing and a miss. Slider and a good one from Breslow.
But Ichiro just trying to reach out in a pitch that breaking not only away but down. Very good slider.
Bounce toward Ellis. He will flip to second side, retire. So Brett Anderson in line for the win. A's need 3 more outs. 6-1 to go to the bottom of the 8th. So bottom of the 8th inning, a new pitcher for the Seattle Mariners. It's the veteran Jamie Wright. So Wright comes in. Quick look at our McDonald's game summary. 1-4-1 for Seattle. 6-9-1 for the Athletics. He's getting great pitching, and the Mariners offense continues to struggle. Rajay Davis toward right center. Ichiro makes the catch. So Rajay Davis, 0 for 3 with a sacrifice fly. So there is Jamie Wright.
Now batting, right fielder, 25.
37th game for
Carson.
former #1 draft pick a long time ago. Colorado Rockies, I believe, made him the #1 draft pick. First pitch to Matt Carson is up and away. Carson, a home run in the 4th inning and 2 very nice plays in right field. So he's had a good all-around game.
Playing primarily against left-handers. Matt Carson playing right field. He played the center field when he crashed into the center field wall. First game started in center, so he forgot to count the steps. Other than that, good to see him in right field. Make a similar play, and even better to get the home run.
So 2-1 the count to Carson. And now a hitter's count 3-1. Good swing there by Carson. He fouls it back.
Time now for the Jeep drive of the game. It will go to a man who's done it on both sides. Defense, and then this good swing against Vargas. Still with the left center field wall. Second home run. Second against the lefty. Barry Zito of the Giants. The other one this year for Matt Carson.
As you can see, Matt Carson did not change his jersey. No way. Come on. Not that he was going to. He made that great diving catch, and it was the second batter of the game into foul territory right along the line. Terrific play.
This is why you don't want to be a catcher sometime.
That's two he's got today. I mean, they have been
this
direct.
One, check the hand. See how the glove turns? I got him on the left arm, shoulder, face, ice, help. He has until tomorrow night to recover.
Wilson on the backhand throws low. Kochman digs it out, and a very close play. Carson is called out. It was a nice dig by Kochman, but it was a bang-bang play.
Wilson, because it took a little bit of a mad hop, you see the ultra mo by Evergood and the scoop by Casey Kochman. And the right call by Jerry Crawford. Hesitated, want to make sure Kochman held on to the ball. That's why it's tough on an umpire to see. We see it in the ultra mo, but they're seeing it in real speed.
Yeah. And that play looked really, really close. Yeah. And it was pretty close, but clearly the right call was made. Henry Rodriguez throwing in the A's bullpen. Tolleson 1 for 3. That double in the fourth. Pop fly that was lost in the sun in left field goes as a double, and it was his first career double.
Look at the paper tomorrow. It's got to have a circle around it, indicating line drive.
That's right. This one is line to right. Ichiro racing over, and he goes into a slide, and he caught it.
That's why he's going to win his 10th Gold Glove.
A very nice play by Ichiro Suzuki to end the bottom of the 8th inning. 9th inning coming up. A's trying to wrap it up. They lead 6-1. Sportsnet California is brought to you by Cash Creek's Cash Perfect 10 giveaway. From now until October 10th, thousands will win cash and prizes every day. Visit cashcreek.com for details. Labor Day, not a bad place to be right there. We like where we're at. That's not a bad alternative.
Not much laboring
no.
in the yard today.
No. So Figgins will lead it off, followed by Gutierrez and Branyan. First pitch from Breslow is up and away. He's leading 6-1. 2 in the first, 2 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, 1 in the seventh. There's a strike. Figgins is 0 for 3 in the ball game. Was robbed on that play by Carson, even though it was in foul territory. Ground out to short, strikeout swinging. Now 3-1. Remember, the Rangers lost earlier today in Toronto, 7-2. So the A's a chance to pick up another game.
And if you're going to talk to Dallas Braden, do it today, because he puts a game face on tomorrow. You have no chance.
No.
He'll be thinking baseball tomorrow night.
A leadoff walk to Sean Figgins. Well, make sure you join us tomorrow night. It'll be game 2 of this 3-game series between the A's and the Mariners. Dallas Braden, Doug Fister, big right-hander. Coverage begins at 6:30 with A's pregame live. The home of A's baseball is Comcast Sportsnet California. So Braden and Fister tomorrow, right here at the Coliseum. Kurt Young is going to chat with Breslow right now. Andrew Bailey a little time to warm up as Bailey rubbing up a baseball and he starts to throw.
Just mentioned also that saw the ring that the A's gave to Dallas Braden.
Yeah.
88 diamonds in it. The one that showed the picture.
Now batting,
Perfect game, and of
number
course the
31,
ring was manufactured in the pendant
Gutierrez.
grandmother, and it's a beautiful, beautiful ring. 88 diamonds in it. And Dallas said, I look at it and he said, I have to remember those are real.
Yes, they are.
But very deserving. Says description, 19th perfect game. There will only be one 19th perfect game. And, not every pitcher pitched a perfect game got a ring as nice as Dallas got. So congratulations, Lou Wolf, who was in town, and still in town, and presented it to Dallas yesterday.
1-1 to Gutierrez.
Lou evidently asked him, he said, do you have another one in you?
What was Dallas' response?
I don't have that club in my bag.
I don't have that club in my bag.
I mean, there's a reason there have only been 20 in Major League Baseball. 20 perfect games.
I'm sure there's days where Dallas Braden still can't believe that he pulled it off.
We can't.
No.
I mean,
The memory gets better
yeah.
the further we get away from it. It's pretty special. That one's drilled. Coco Crisp going back. He's near the wall, and it is off the wall. Figgins will stop at third. Gutierrez at second. So a long double to right center field.
Now there's an example of an outfielder not really knowing where the ball is, trying to figure out the way the ball's hit, using his glove to shade his eyes, and then once the ball comes out of the sun, trying to catch it. And then he finds it, and then see the quick reaction to go after the ball, but not enough time. He's trying to locate it, and once he does, it comes out of the sun, and then that last little spurt to go get it, and it's not able to be caught, and Andrew Bailey's going to be coming in the game.
So second and third, and nobody out here in the top of the ninth. A's with a 6-1 lead. And when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. The closer coming in. making some noise here in the 9th inning. As we got Russ Branyan coming up, and Andrew Bailey comes in out of the bullpen. It is not a save situation for Bailey. The tying run would have to be in the on-deck circle for this to be a save opportunity.
And the left-handed batter, and we saw yesterday too with Bob Guerin, and of course knowing the urgency the A's to get a win, going to the bullpen early, or at least having bullpen activity early with Vin Mazzaro, and then ultimately replacing him in the 5th inning. Today, sure you could say wait around and make it a save situation, but it's a save, just trying to get a win regardless of the personal accomplishment.
So 0-1 to Branyan, who is 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch back in the 2nd inning. After Branyan, it'll be Lopez. He popped it up. Coming in is Pennington, fighting that sun, and very high pop-up, and catch made by Pennington. Branyan cannot get a run home.
Well, he had a chance with the infield back to put the ball in play to get a run.
Now batting, number 4.
With his power to even try to do more than that. But the lift, the open stance and closes and lifted, and that's just a good fastball from Andrew Bailey. A little bit behind it and got under it.
So Lopez steps in, and he pops one to center. Coco Crisp, another guy fighting that sun. He's got it. Figgins will tag, and Figgins will come in to score. So it's a sacrifice fly for Lopez, and it's 6-2. But it is the 2nd out here in the 9th.
That time Coco had it. He kind of put up his right hand to indicate that he had or was going to catch the ball. But a very tough sun. Straight on, a little bit easier. Andrew Bailey looked like he was a little bit upset that he gave up an earned run to his good friend Craig Breslow. But you come in 2nd, 3rd, nobody out.
That went down the right field line. That's trouble, and that is just foul. So Kochman not waiting around. He goes after the first pitch he sees from Bailey.
Hooking foul, no doubt, all the way.
Gutierrez is the runner at 2nd base. Good fastball. 91 miles an hour, but up around the eyes, and it's 0-2, so the crowd will rise to their feet. A's trying to get win number 68. And they do. Bailey strikes out Kochman with a high fastball. And game 1 of this 3-game series goes to the Oakland A's. They defeat the Seattle Mariners 6-2. So the A's pick up a game in the standings. They are now 7 back with 25 games left to play. So they are still in it. Final score, Athletics 6 and the Mariners 2. Don't go away. A's post-game live with